Is Mexico safe? It is the number one question that we were asked before we moved to Mexico, and it is repeatedly the same question that we've been asked since we moved to Mexico. So today we're going to talk about, is Merida safe, and what life is like for us here in Merida.
Welcome back to the channel. Of course, my name is Bobby, and this is my wife, Michelle, and welcome back to Yucatan Adventures. So a lot of y'all have questions out there about, is Mexico safe? Or sorry, is Merida safe? Because we can't really speak for the entire state of Mexico, but we can speak for Merida because we've been living here for 6 months now, and what we experienced would shock you. Better yet, it would blow your mind. So we can't really speak about the entire country of Mexico. We can only speak about Merida, Mexico, because we've been living here for 6 months, so we can share what that experience is like. So Merida is frequently cited as the safest city in Latin America, with crime rates comparable to a small-sized European city. Merida is consistently ranked as the second safest city in the entire American continent, trailing only Quebec in Canada.
For us, when we move, safety, of course, is very important wherever we decide to land. For us, every day in Merida has been nothing but safety. We are here with our 15-year-old teenage daughter. And just to give you context, recently she just walked to OXO, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night by herself. We didn't have a care in the world. I wasn't tracking her phone. She walked there, did her thing, walked back. Not a problem, not an issue. She wasn't harassed. She wasn't followed. We weren't concerned at once for her safety. When we go out to dinner at night, for example, when we go down to Centro, which is probably the busiest area in Merida, we can go down there at night, have dinner. I don't have to worry about clutching my purse or holding it close to me. We can easily walk through the streets. I can be ahead of him. She could be ahead of us. Not a concern in the world. It may look like you're parking in a dark alley. Not a concern in the world going around that corner. Not once have we been concerned about safety any time of day or any time of night, especially most importantly at night. No concern for us, no concern for our daughter.
Just imagine living in a city of 1 million people where the biggest local crime news that you're going to see is a neighborly dispute or a stolen bicycle. It's like living in a major US city with the crime rate of a small rural town like in Vermont.
Another example would be when we've been to the local Mercado. We had to park in the parking lot, and because of the way the parking is, you have to leave your keys inside your car. And at first, we were like, you have to leave your keys inside the car. But guess what? When you come back, your car's still there, the keys are still there, everything's fine. And we've actually forgotten stuff in the car. Those items were still in the car as well.
And Merida is not safe by accident. It's the result of deliberate, multi-layered strategies that combine geography, high-tech policing, and a unique social fabric. And as of 2026, it remains an international outlier for safety. So, we talked about like the police presence, them being on almost every corner. You also have neighbors that report crimes. And Merida is also just built on one main highway, which is called the Periférico. So if you're thinking about doing any crimes, those highways are filled with police officers too. You might see one like every 5 miles. So it's not like the police officers are really like waiting for a crime to happen. They're actually just having a visual presence to make you think about doing anything that might be illegal.
And here we don't have to worry about if our daughter goes to school, will she come home from school? We don't have to worry about if we go to the grocery store, do we need to be looking over our shoulders? Um, for me, I feel like the biggest misconception about the safety of Mexico comes from misinformation, false news narratives, and honestly, the majority of people who say Mexico isn't safe have never even been to Mexico.
Just imagine yourself walking in downtown Chicago, or imagine yourself walking in Central Park in New York City, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and nothing happens. No one gets kidnapped. No one gets raped. Uh, there's nothing happening. So one of the most common ways locals and expats or immigrants express safety is by nodding that they feel perfectly comfortable walking alone through the historical city center, Centro, at 2 a.m. in the morning. Also, something that we experience just walking in Centro late nights after dinner. My wife has her purse in her hand. As you can see, we have nice jewelry. We don't feel like we got to tuck that in or anything like that. My wife is not clenching her purse. My daughter is walking steps ahead, uh, and we feel perfectly fine. So, 80-year-olds are doing it. People our age are doing it, and they feel safer than ever in Central.
And for those of you who don't know us, just to give you a little bit of background, we are from St. Louis. So if you know St. Louis, you know what it's like. I don't even go into the city of St. Louis by myself, and let alone at night. We were actually living in what you would call the suburbs in Missouri, and I still did not let my daughters walk anywhere by themselves. They didn't even go to the bus stop by themselves, let alone walk into the corner store. We took them wherever they had to go. So to be able to have that freedom to where my daughter can go out and be a teenager, I can't say a kid because she's a teenager now, but be able to go out, be a teenager, hang out with her friends, even at the mall by herself, and not have a worry in the world. We were just talking how the other night we heard the sounds of kids outside playing at night. You really don't hear that back in the States. Not, I feel like not since we were little, but the sounds of kids outside playing, and it's dark at night. Not a care in the world, not a worry in the world. So for us, Merida has been nothing but safe. I think the only thing I'm worried about is the heat.
And again, if you ask a local all safe, they'll likely say because it's the police, they actually work and we all know each other. If you ask the security experts, they will point out the point of geography and all the surveillance that they have here. They have top-notch surveillance. And then Merida has a middle class and a lower rate of extreme property compared to other regions. And this economic health reduces crimes and desperation often seen in larger urban centers. And we're talking about Merida, Mexico. We can't really speak on any other parts of Mexico. And firsthand, again, being here for 6 to 7 months, we actually have experienced this on our own, so we can report back that we feel safe being here as well. So let's talk about crime, because I know a lot of you think about crime when you think about Mexico. Check this out. The entire state of the Yucatan recorded only 33 homicides in all of 2025. For context, this is the lowest in Mexico and exceptionally lower for the region with over 2.3 million people. Yucatan's rate was 1.5 per 1,000 residents in comparison to major U.S. cities that have rates ranging from 10 to 50 homicides for every 100,000 people. Unlike other parts of Mexico, where firearm related crimes are more common, violent incidents in Merida rarely involve guns. Most violent crimes in the region are characterized as domestic disputes or non organized crime. No cartel gang. And then a lot of people always want to talk to us about the cartel and say, aren't you worried about the cartel? And the answer for the last time is no. We are not worried about the cartel. Security analysts note that Merida does not suffer from any turf wars seen in the northern or coastal states. Generally, no active battles between criminal groups in this city exist. So, no, we are not worried about the cartel.
The only other thing that I want to add is that we're safe, we're good. If anything, we're more worried about family that's still back in the States. We even have adult children still back in the States. So that's where my stress and worry and concern comes from, is them still being back in the States. If safety is something you're considering before moving to Mexico, let us know what your biggest concerns are in the comments. And if you want honest videos about life in Merida, subscribe.
Peace.